Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
No one
Can do it better.
Emmanuel Navaratte.
Blood in my dog and I can't see.
Look, forget the bars.
It's a robbery.
It wasn't a head clash. Tim Bradley called it. And just like the David Adelaide TKV fight, the fact that Top Rank are acting like there are no monitors that these things can be checked. Like they didn't hear Tim Bradley say he saw a punch land. Like there are not officials at ringside who saw what happened and this couldn't be amended very quickly and Suarez should be champion. It's not a good look. Navaratte, he came out throwing his wide right hands and wide attacks. A 1-2 had the smaller Suarez in trouble in the first round, but Suarez had his share of success. His more compact punches were catching Navaratte because he's wide open to get caught. He always has been. By the 7th, there wasn't much in it. Suarez won the 7th. Then came the incident that led to a technical decision in the 8th round. Navaratte clearly didn't want to continue, which is fair enough. He probably couldn't continue. It was a bad injury. Suarez actually hurt him at the right because the cut was affecting Navaratte. And it looked like he was starting to unravel. And he was walking into shots. And the fact that Navaratte is still champion despite the damning evidence, well, it should leave a bad taste in everybody's mouth, really. Why aren't these fighters slapping lawsuits on the referees? Ultimately, it's the referee's decision, right? Why aren't they being slapped with lawsuits? There's probably a waiver against that before the fighters agree terms to take the fight. The statements that came out after were ludicrous. Emmanuel saying he believed it was a head clash. You know it was a punch because you took the punch. If anyone knows it was a legal blow, it's Navaratte.
Stop lying.
The California State Athletic Commission, led by Jack Reese, toiled on what decision to make. Well, how did they toil? Did they toil with the evidence of video or testimony from Tim Bradley and ringside that it was a punch? Come on now.
Come now. Why y'all so dumb now?
Suarez from the Philippines, an active soldier in the Philippines, would have got a promotion in the army if he won. But you know what they're going to do? They're going to come up with a fair solution, give Suarez a rematch. No, a fair solution would be to make Suarez champion. Not a no contest. That's a cop-out. Win for Suarez. WBO Super Featherweight belt for Suarez. And they're talking about Navaratte has to move up to 135. Well, he didn't look too good against Denis Berinchyk last year trying to take his lightweight title. Somehow they scored it a split verdict when Berinchyk clearly won the fight. But even at 126, he never had that ripped-toned physique that featherweights normally have. At 130, he still looks like there's excess you don't see on super featherweights. Maybe he's not cutting weight properly, I don't know. Maybe he needs a nutritionist like Martin Bacoli.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
No one
Can do it better.
Raymond Muratalla swept the scorecards against Zaur Abdullaev from Russia, who looks a little limited when he comes up against a little speed. Example, when he fought Devin Haney. Muratalla had the better variety, landed some nice uppercuts, had the better hand speed. Abdullaev, realizing the fight was slipping away, had a good fifth. But Robert Garcia seemed to get Muratalla back on his defensive grind, and it wasn't exactly Mexican-style boxing, was it? The crowd did voice their disapproval of this. They did what he had to do. Bloodied up the Russian's nose late on and took the points decision. Lomachenko has until October to decide what he's going to do with the IBF belt. Seems like an awfully long time, and his witness protection on social media would defend everything he does, who he's ducked, how long he's held the belt, holding up traffic. To me, that's some sucker-ish from them, and that's some sucker-ish from Lomachenko.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
No one
Can do it better.
I saw this clip of Kavaliauskas, War Machine, against Solomon Sissoko, and I assumed that Kavaliauskas stopped Sissoko, because the clip I saw, a left uppercut to the head, put Sissoko through the ropes. That was in the fifth, and he was also floored by a left hook in the second round. Sissoko managed to avoid falling onto the rock-hard surface in the fifth, climbed back into the ring, and was able to beat the referee's count. If you get punched out of the ring, you get 20 seconds. Now, the fight took place in France, which is Suleiman Sissoko's adopted country. I haven't seen the whole fight, but it must be controversial because that's 2 10-8 rounds to Kavaliauskas in what was a 12-rounder. But in this boxing news report, they're saying Suleiman Sissoko's defensive prowess down the stretch ultimately cemented his career best victory. Sissoko goes on to be in line to fight the winner of Barrios versus Pacquiao for the WBC welterweight title. A fight that, if Frank Warren or Eddie Hearn tried to stage in the UK, they'd be getting cremated. But America has developed a lot of lap standards in their boxing in recent years.
Boxing
Beats and rhymes.
No one
can do it better.
Cesar Navarro, 13 wins, 11 inside the distance, 3 losses. A Mexican heavyweight, 6 foot, 25 years of age, 73-inch reach. Nearly pulled off a big upset against Dainier Perot, a Cuban heavyweight, the brother of Lenier Perot, who's signed to Matchroom. The Cuban is 11-0 with 8 inside the distance, 6'5", 25 years of age, and he was cruising through the first few rounds and looked on the verge of getting a stoppage in the second, teeing off combinations, fighting nothing like William Skull from that supposed Cuban school of boxing. And in the third, he got caught with a big right hand from the Mexican that put him on his ass, and he was floored again, but he showed good recuperative powers to battle back and win a unanimous decision. I saw the highlights, a lot of traffic on DAZN. So if I haven't got full fight reports here, don't be saying, why aren't you watching the whole fights? It's only 24 hours in a day. The promoter is Armory Piadra. The event took place in Florida.
Boxing
Beats and rhymes.
No one
can do it better.
Tommy Fury won a 6-rounder in Budapest. That was also on DAZN, the MTK Arena. He weighed the same as his opponent, Kenan Henjalik, 208 pounds. Tommy, he looks too heavy. Doesn't look fat, he just looks too heavy. Tommy been inactive for 18 months. He withdrew from the Darren Till fight, which disappointed everybody, including myself. I was looking forward to it. Called out Jake Paul. I know Tommy beat him previously, but Jake's moved on. If he has any integrity as a pugilist, and I'm not saying he has to have integrity, you don't need integrity to make money or succeed in the current boxing market. There's no reason for him not to take on Darren Till, unless he believes he can't win. Tommy looked very stiff, a lot of clinching and holding, and a lot of it came from Tommy. He was given the decision. It looks like he's got a little situation over Budapest where he'll be fighting at least Frank Warren and Queensbury to fight on DAZN in Budapest on the same night Frank Warren himself has a card on DAZN, but Tommy's fight and show is buried under Frank's event. Methinks someone doesn't want to do UCAD testing. He got caught with some good shots. There was one right hand when Tommy had his back to the ropes, which forced him to hold on. And it's the type of fight he needs after 18 months inactive. He needed a fight like that, in all truth. 26 years of age. His dad likes critiquing a lot of Tyson Fury's trainers. And while I'm not sure if John is responsible for Tommy's lack of fluidity in the ring, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If he's going to critique the likes of Sugar Hill, Ben Davison, etc., I guess he'll have to take some of the blame for some of Tommy's mediocre performances.
Boxing
Beats and rhymes.
No one
can do it better.
I enjoyed Ezra Taylor's performance against Trey Jones. I'm not sure if Ezra is a world beater. He does have ambitions of lifting world titles. He's now trained by Malik Scott. It was a tough fight. I didn't like the way Ezra was looping the right hand. It's a way better shot when he throws it as a cross or straight in a 1-2 combination. I like the way he's throwing that left hook to the body. He gets style points for that punch. Looks pretty good. But his opponent, he stuck with it. Troy Jones was undefeated, and he went to Ezra's body. He showed a lot of courage. I'm looking now, and one of the scorecards had it 190 in Ezra's favour. That's a little wide. 99.91, that's a little wide. 97.94 is more near the mark. Ultimately, Taylor was a little sharper, had a little more variety. Jones, heart, courage, very scrappy, didn't have as much power or perhaps conditioning, which told late on in the fight. When Taylor started straightening out his right hand and getting his jab going, Jones's face started busting up pretty bad. And by the end of the fight, he looked a mess. His right eye was busted up. His nose was busted. A lot of the fight took place at close quarters where they traded body shots. And it was good to watch. Jones was warned for holding after his nose got bloodied up in the fourth. He started dabbing at his nose and twitching his nose, trying to get some relief as the blood leaked. EZRA, who is now 12-0 with 8 inside the distance, perhaps allowed himself to get dragged into a slugging match. But I suspect Malik Scott would have liked to have seen more tidier boxing, perhaps, from EZRA. But he did look good in the late stages, very good actually. This was a battle of unbeatens. Troy was 12-0 going into the fight. Now, my reservations about whether EZRA can become a world champion or an elite contender is he's 30 years of age already, but he looks well preserved. It looks like he lives a clean life. And there's some good fights out there. The domestic scene over here at 175 is pretty healthy. They're already talking about Yard versus Callum Smith in a 5 versus 5 later on this year. EZRA probably not at that level yet, but I believe he and Lewis Edmondson have agreed terms to fight for Lewis's British title. Lewis Edmondson is 11-0-0 with 3 inside the distance. Let's see how EZRA does in that fight. And then perhaps we'll be talking about the Riyadh season fights. Let's go.
Boxing
Beats and rhymes.
No one
can do it better.
Also on the card, I saw Chris KONGO. What was he doing on this Frank Warren promotion? Benjamin can't get him any fights over there. He drops to 17-3-0. He lost a points decision to the 11-1-0 Owen Cooper. Chris started well, using his height and reach advantages, boxing, moving. But Owen Cooper, he stuck with it and out-hustled Chris. Chris started making mistakes, throwing lead shots, getting caught, at times crouching down into Owen Cooper's hooks. And they say it's a young man's game, and that theory was served, I believe, yesterday. Chris, 17-3-0 with 7 inside the distance, is now 32. His opponent coming off a devastating loss, but a thrilling fight actually, to Echo Esserman last July, where he was stopped in the 10th. Echo Esserman actually outpointed Chris KONGO. Owen actually had Esserman down as well. It was an absolute barnstormer. It was a really good fight, and he's coming back from that. And at 24 years of age, yes, I believe youth was served. Chris, to me, his legs looked a little heavy as the rounds went on. Not that he was getting hurt by any big shots, because Owen not a huge puncher, and Chris said that to October Red post-fight, that Owen's not a huge puncher in comparison to Florin Marcoux. But Owen did some good work. Chris KONGO did some good work, and it was tight. 96-94, it was a tight fight all the way through. And it was a very good fight to watch. Owen, there's some good fights out there for him, and he does have talent. He's got to stay active and keep doing what he does. He looked good. I believe KONGO has to move up to 154 at 6 foot. He's just too tall, 32 years of age. I'm not sure how healthy it is for him to stay at 147. I'm really not sure.
Boxing
Beats and rhymes.
No one
can do it better.
Yeah, the 15 months is why I didn't pick Leigh Wood. And he's landed some decent shots, but inactivity for 36-year-olds is not the key. Battle of the jabs that Cacace got the better of. Right hand, left hand from Cacace. Boxing pretty well now. Leaning away from Wood's right hand, using his footwork a bit better now. Well, a lot better, actually. Try that wild left hook. It'd be better at throwing a jab. Oh, combinations from Cacace. Throwing a lot of punches. Oh, good defense from Cacace. Leigh tried to come back at him and steal the play away. Cacace won't let him. Side-to-side movement from Cacace and some actual boxing. Putting some combinations together. Leigh getting punched up now. This is what I said. The volume could be a problem for Leigh Wood. Anthony's got this fight in his grasp right now. He's took control of it. Leigh tries to come back with his solitary right hand. That's not going to be enough. He whacks to the body. Cacace ties up. Looks a bit bruised around the face, Leigh Wood, as well. Around that right eye. I don't think Leigh Wood is right now. Don't look like he's up for the battle. He looks flat. He looks flat. Inactivity, no good. Freddie says Cacace has really got his jab working now. Mateus is much better from Cacace. Yes, he's actually impressing me. Sylvester, is Cacace dominant? He's starting to pull away. Let's say that. That was his best round of the fight. Leigh, I don't know, Leigh. Cacace's got his number right now.
All Lee is trying is that right hand. Cacace to step into his right anti-clockwise and then coming back to his left with his jab. And it's working a treat. It's actually very good boxing. Good work from Cacace. Didn't land, but keeping that tempo going. Lee's face not looking very clever, is it? Could Cacace get the stoppage is the question. Can he get the stoppage? That's what would be impressive. Cacace building up a lead. 59-55 according to Carl Frampton, although he is Irish himself. The Nottingham Arena must be silent now. It must be silent. Can Lee use his experience and his power to turn this around? Should we count him out? Right to the body from Leigh Wood. It's a little low, but it's something a little different. Okay, Lee's trying to bang him to the body now. At least he's trying to change things up a little. Can't be mad at that. He's too far out of range and can't close the range, Lee. They tie each other up. Dirty punch from Cacace, that rabbit punch, while they were locked up. But boxing's a rough sport. No complaints from Lee. He tried that right uppercut, Lee, as Cacace came in. Lee not getting his jab off at all. Not getting his jab off. He's abandoned it. Cacace winning the range control game. Bill Larkin, has Wood got his power at this weight? Doesn't look like he's carried up. He actually landed some power punches earlier. Gerard said Wood is frustrating. He's being outboxed. Yes, round 8. Okay, Cacace not happy with something. The referee ain't doing nothing about it. Cacace looked like he's cut round the cheek. Nothing too serious. Why was he complaining to the referee, Cacace? 1-2 by Cacace. Lee trying that left hook. Is there another twist in this one? Okay, Cacace busting up round the face. This reminds me of Cotto versus Margarita. All of a sudden, my man's face just busting up all everywhere. It's just a little blood. He's all right. Okay, better spell for Leigh Wood, though. He's at least making it scrappy. Cacace's face. What's up with his face? It's hard to tell what the injuries are. Jab to the stomach from Lee. Lee looks like he's ran out of ideas. Cacace, he's got his number on that jab. Using his longer arms to outbox Lee. Timing with them 1-2s. He's actually shown a good work rate, Cacace. So, not a bad performance. Left hand from Cacace. Lee takes it well. Gets scrappy. Referee lets him fight it out. Work it out for themselves. Cacace, unusual. Jumped in there. Oh, left hook from Cacace. Testing Lee's chin there. Now it's out of the chess match. They're actually really trying to land one single punch and bang each other over. That's interesting. Cacace loses his shape too easily and fights his opponent's fight, even when he's doing well. Lee getting physical, but he's taking combos. Lee getting punch up. Oh, down Lee goes. Left hook hurt him. What's Lee got left in the tank? Left hook from Cacace is a good punch. He's teeing off. Looks like Lee's done. Are they going to stop it prematurely? Right uppercuts from Cacace, goes to the body, invested in the body. That's always good when you're going for the finish. Is he going to let Lee off the hook? Looks like he's letting him off the hook. Okay, Lee showing heart. That right hand there, held on. Lee looks all but sold out. We're in round 9 of a 12-rounder. It's a very good round for Cacace, 10-8. Cacace's face looks a mess. Quite an entertaining fight, actually. Oh, left hand from Leigh Wood. Showing heart. I like that, Lee. Right hand from Anthony. Staggers Lee. Combinations. Lee taking too much punch. Then body shots hurt him. Oh, I think Ben Davidson's throwing a towel, man. Just as I said it, the towel came in as I was saying throw the towel in.
Probably wasn't Cacace's sole decision to vacate his IBF 130-pound title. I'm sure his management and Frank Warren had lengthy discussions about the possible ramifications of such a decision. They didn't want to take the mandatory against the 27-1-0, 27 inside the distance, Eduardo Nunes. Nunes fights for the vacant title in Japan. He's signed with Matchroom. And Cacace opted for this Leigh Wood fight in Leigh Wood's backyard, Nottingham. Leigh Wood has been waiting for this hometown fight for how long now? It's one of the reasons why he fell out with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom. They didn't deliver this hometown fight for him. But 19 months out of the ring for Lee, moving up to super featherweight to face the biggest opponent he's probably faced in his career, was a mug's move. Hometown fight or not, it was a mug's move. And I didn't pick him to win because of the inactivity, because of the size of Cacace. Cacace's in the form of his life. He's been active. What does Cacace do next? He's probably going to look at Nunes and the Japanese super featherweight he faces for the vacant title, look at his options, and in his own mind, he'll be vindicated in vacating the belt. He got a very nice bag against Leigh Wood yesterday. Leigh Wood's jab was never a factor in the fight. He was trying to throw it at first, but he was too slow. Cacace saw it coming, parried it, moved away, and it was ineffective. And then Leigh gave up on the jab, which he shouldn't have done. Should have kept persevering with it, but he gave up on it. And he was left with what? Trying to land one big left hook, one big right hook here and there. And he took a pasting. Cacace is enjoying this Indian summer where he's not only been successful in the ring, also his decisions like vacating the belt, they seem to be working out right now. So it's a good period for him. Frank Warren was furious with Steve Gray, one of the judges, who had Leigh Wood up 77-75. I tell you what, I understand why Frank was so pissed. I really do. The mind boggles how you came up with that score. It really does. How you gave Leigh Wood more than 3 rounds is crazy. Absolutely crazy. But this is what I'm saying, like, there's no consequences for these judges. They're not even made to explain these decisions. And I tell you what, the referee should be happy that Anthony ended it early. Because if this went to the scorecards and Leigh Wood got one of the scores, Frank would have went absolutely ballistic, even more ballistic than what he went post-fight. And I wouldn't have blamed him.
Boxing
Beats and rhymes.
no one can do it better.